right hand side, you see two graphs from Istanbul, and the scenario is one on the left side, left map. You see the emissions of the domestic, the residential heating, and without the residential heating emissions, you see how we achieve the low air quality concentrations. So you can work on different scenarios, as I mentioned, for Istanbul. And also we run another scenario for the metro bus in Istanbul. So we can also use the model in order to determine the source-specific actions, and we can support the decision makers for policy making. And we also build strong cooperation with the local authorities in the cities. And as I mentioned, in order to run this air quality model, NEFES, we use the air emission management portal, and we collect all the emissions data in kilometer square scale, and it is produced for over 150 different parameters at district level as the outputs of the emission inventory and air quality models. And in the portal database, the pollution information of approximately 22,000 stacks of 9,000 industrial facilities are recorded, as you see the emission management portal on the slide. And also in this emission portal, we also monitor the life cycle of all solid fuels produced and imported in the country. And we analyze through this model, and we all monitor all certification processes in the life cycle of the solid fuel model. And in line with the 2053 net zero emission targets of Turkey, the coal use potentials of the cities are determined. So we can say that all the solid fuels records are digitalized in this emission portal. And when we look at the air pollution at local level, we can monitor air quality with our monitoring stations all over the country, over 300 monitoring stations. And we can also collect the emission data of the industry traffic, and we run the NEFES model software. So we can propose different measures both in the short term and middle long term for the cities. You see the Düzce province for this slide. And also we performed a project with Ege University starting 2020 until 2022. This is a research development project, and our professor will give you much more details about this project. But the aim of this project is to have a better air quality in cities, and we prepare an inventory for the alternative energy sources and heating techniques, and we also prepare different guidelines on district heating systems, strategy development and planning with the support of GIS for district heating systems, clean coal technologies and solar energy systems. And at the end of this project, we drafted a national strategy plan for green transition in heating in Turkey. So here you will see the website of the project, and as you see, we have different trips to the fields in the scope of that project. Here you see we visited 33 facilities in the whole country. And our aim is to prepare implementation action plans for each province in order to evaluate different options for clean, comfortable and economical heating, in order to use of all types of fuel with more efficient and economical technologies, and increase and promotion of using alternative and renewable energy sources, use more waste heat in heating sector in view of the circular economy, and we would like to promote central and district heating for efficient use and control of heat, and we would like to prevent the wasting heat in the whole country, and we would like to propose different options for storage of heat. So we give different incentives for the transition to natural gas in different provinces, as you see here. And Konya province, our colleague from Konya Metropolitan Municipality can give much more details. And as the ministry, we provide financial support in order to transition from coal to natural gas in over 1,000 residences in the city center. So here you see the photos from the site visit to these residences. And you may ask what we are planning to do for the grants for green transition in heating for Turkey. So it is in line with the objectives to reach net zero emissions in 2053 in Turkey. We are in close cooperation and collaboration with the Ministry of Education for clean, economical and affordable heating in the scope of schools with zero emissions projects. And we would like to transit to cleaner and environmental friendly fuels in buildings. Primarily in public buildings, and we would like to use alternative combustion systems to increase energy efficiency in building heating and cooling and insulation of the buildings, of course. And we would like to use of waste heat in industry for energy savings, and we would like to use much more renewable energy sources in district heating. So thank you for your attention, and I would like to give the floor to my colleague.
Thank you, Evrim, for this valuable and informative presentation. Now we are going to listen Professor Hasan Sarptaş from Aegean University. Hasan Hocam, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Now I'm sharing my screen, sorry. Thank you. Good afternoon for everyone. I will give you a short summary of a more recently completed project on the management of heating-induced urban air pollution in Turkey, and I will try to discuss some district heating systems. We, as a project team of 3 researchers from Aegean University Solar Energy Institute, conducted the project for the Ministry of Environment, Urbanization and Climate Change. As in most of the developing countries, urban air pollution, as you know, mainly caused by residential heating, is still one of the top environmental issues in most metropolitan cities of Turkey. Coal, natural gas, electricity, and forest and agricultural biomass feedstocks are widely used for residential heating and space heating in Turkey. But Turkish coals are generally of low quality, namely they have high humidity, ash, and sulfur contents. The use of these coals in stoves and small boilers in residential areas cause both inefficient combustion and increase in the amount of air emissions. Together with this situation, the use of improper stoves and unsuitable burning methods in individual heating systems also increases the air pollution in residential areas. So I think there's a problem. Okay.
Hocam şu anda sunumunuzu görebiliyoruz.
Okay, thank you. Sesli bir sorun var diye düşündüm de. Starting with the second half of the 1970s, the winter air pollution has become a significant problem in metropolitan cities of Turkey. Later in 1970s, after the start of natural gas turbines for heating in Turkey, the coal use decreased by year, and we saw a decrease in the concentrations of sulfur dioxide and particulate matter in urban areas. However, sulfur dioxide and particulate matter exceed national air quality standards in some urban and industrial centers. While pollution concentrations are highest in major urban areas and cities where industry has continued to expand, in rural areas air quality is typically good in Turkey. In Turkey, the ministry has long worked on the control of industrial air pollution and related policies and strategies are generally applied well. Air emissions from power plants and industrial facilities are continuously monitored today in Turkey. Then the ministry started to work on the residential heating sector with considering the needs to change the residential heating schemes to control urban air pollution. The ministry and we as Ege University Solar Energy Institute have conducted a project to develop a new national strategy for the control of heating industrial pollution. The project, if I mentioned our project shortly, we conducted the project for the ministry. A team from Ege University, 3 researchers, Professor Hayati Olgan, me, Hasan Sarptaş, and Dr. Özben Kutlu. The project starts in November 2012 and recently the project ends in November 2012. Sorry, 22. Sorry. If you ask what is the aim of the project, we two main aims. First, to revise the current regulation on the control of heating induced air pollution, and the second aim is to develop a national strategy on green transformation in heating sector. And besides these main aims, our main strategy and the core key target in this project, the transformation of the individual heating to the district heating, as you know. In the context of the project, we conduct a survey study in order to better describe the current situation in the residential heating sector. That is mostly individual heating. And the implementation of the current directive. The survey was applied to municipalities, provincial directorates of the ministry, and boiler and pressure vessels manufacturers in order to determine the problems in the implementation of the regulation and in heating sector. We also conducted a SWOT analysis and test analysis to better analyze strengths, weakness, opportunities and threats to transformation to district heating in Turkey. In the context of the project, we as the project team from the ministry and the Ege University carried out 33 field visits to coal and natural gas power plants, energy intensive industrial plants, including iron and steel plants with waste and excess heat potential, existing district heating networks in Turkey, and manufacturers for boilers, installed pipes, and underground heat stations manufacturers. In this site visits, we saw that power plants need system modifications to supply heat. Thus, in general, they do not have a priority for heat supply in the current station. They will only be a part of the district heating systems in case of incentives and grant support by the ministry. In the industrial sites, the industrial plants, we saw that boilers are operated at low capacity and low efficiency. A central heating system, for example, combined heat and power plants, could be an effective solution for industry. These are the main results I mentioned here. Together with site visits in Turkey, we also conduct or carried out 2 visits to Poland and Italy. To better develop Turkish district heating strategy, we want to look at the legal framework in force. Sorry. I'm sorry. In side visit to Poland and Italy, we want to learn. We want to learn the legal framework, enforce incentives applications, current situation and challenges in the district heating sector, including energy efficiency, tariffs, the revision needs and operation problems in these countries. In Poland, we contacted Polish Ministry of Climate and Environment, Polish Chamber of Commerce, district heating, PGE Energy Group, Rizeso Waste to Energy Plant, and Vailo Electricity and Heating Distribution Company. In Italy, we visit Brescia, Milano, and Toscana regions. And in the city of Milano, a hybrid application example of a groundwater source heat pump and other heat source was investigated, and it has been observed that heating is provided from 4 different sources such as waste, natural gas, geothermal, and waste heat. That energy efficiency heating systems are used as a result of the optimization according to the needs. So these will a good examples for Turkey, and we will see on Italy. Then we carried out a training program for the capacity development for the personnel of the ministry. Trainings include fuels combustion and combustion systems, and heating induced air pollution control legislation practices, district heating systems and the use of waste heat, planning of district heating systems with the support of geographical information systems, clean coal technologies and gasification systems, and solar thermal systems. Later, we conduct a workshop on green transformation on heating in order to discuss the examples and best practice of district heating and the strategic aims for Turkish sites. Then we developed a geographical information-based system assessment methodology. Here you see on the slide an example for Izmir. We first mapped the heat demand by population density. Then we mapped the heat resources in the industrial and energy plants. We later add the air quality zones, the critic regions for air quality. Then we analyze the suitability of the district heating developments in such system. One of the biggest outcomes of the project is the revision of the directive, namely Heating Induced Air Pollution Management Directive, which was issued in 2005. The aim of the directive, to reduce and control the impacts of soot, smoke, dust, gas, vapor, and aerosol pollutants emitted to the ambient air from heaters in buildings. In the revision, our suggestions include updating the definitions, transferring fuel quality limitations to a new regulation, removing the 1 megawatt capacity limitation, and so on, as you see on the slide. Then we developed the national strategy and identified 5 strategic targets for the strategy. These determining city-level heating policies by considering the current air quality conditions, reducing fuel consumption and air emissions related to the heating within the scope of combating climate change and air pollution, Third one is transition to district heating systems instead of individual heating. 5, using clean coal technologies in heating. And 4 and 5, the last one is increasing the number of zero emission buildings. These are the 5 main strategic targets of the our strategy. This is the very short summary of our project. Thank you for listening to me.
Hasan Hocam, thank you very much. Now, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Serdar Koyuncu to listen what brings him today here. He's a branch manager at Konya Metropolitan Municipality. Yes, Serdar Bey, we are eager to.
Thank you. My name is Serdar Koyuncu. I am from Turkey, from Konya City in Turkey. My presentation, Green Transformation Project in Konya. As Konya Metropolitan Municipality or Sustainable Environmental Project, counter in their project. Konya is a big city in Turkey. The service area Konya Metropolitan Municipality is larger than approximately 15 countries. As you can in this slide. Climate Council in Konya. Şuradan ekrandan görünmüyor. Or this is project Zero Carbon Buildings project with Ministerium with the scope of adaptation to climate-friendly green buildings. This is project in Konya and in Antep. Konya and Antep city in Turkey. Some green certificate buildings, for example, Konya Metropolitan Stadium and Konya Science Building and Metropolitan Municipality Sport and Congress Center. This is 3 building in Konya. This is building is green certificate buildings. Conservation of wetlands in Konya. As Konya in conservation wetlands, for example, Beyşehir Lake, Mekke Lake, and Salt Lake. Salt Lake in Turkey, in Beyşehir Lake, and Mekke Lake. Management of carbon capture areas in Konya. As you can see in this slide, carbon capture areas. For example, Kayacık area, Yapan area, und so weiter. Konya is big city of Konya. Konya, as it strives to be Turkey's sailing hub, the central province of Konya, and Konya Bisli Master Plan was prepared with the strategies of promoting non-motorized transportation, reduction automal, eton, and transoil. This is project renewable energy production facilities in Konya, biomethanization plant, and one wind power plant and one hydroelectric power plant. For example, Aslım power plant, Kaşınan power plant, renewable energy production. This is project. Konya Metropolitan Municipality 100 megawatt solar energy system project. This is project in Konya, Turkey. This is project 100 megawatt sun project. Green transformation in Varnik in Konya with the grants support of our Minister of Environmental Urbanization and Climate Change natural gas conversion. This is project in the urban transformation started in the historical city in Konya, Mevlana Tunç. Green transformation is, as you can in this slide, for people. The resistance using salt fuel in Konya city center were determinant. Conversion of solid fuels to natural gas in heating project, etap 2. Control of solid fuels in Konya city. Inspection activities are coming out to prevent the use of poor quality solid fuel throughout the province in order to contribute to the green transformation and the implementation of the Konya Clean Air Action Plan. This is outcomes of the project contribute to the climate change and the climate adaptation, reduction of pollutant emission from solid fuels, improvement of air quality in Konya historical city center and Mevlana region, and